Hey guys, this is CTG once again bringing you a commentary on my previous replay, and this time I will be playing as Abathur. So the map will be Void Thrashing with a Vorazun ally. So here we are at the start of the map.
Need more minerals for that.
So let's wait for Sergeant Hammer
Don't have enough minerals.
talking about her
Right on time, Commander.
fortress.
These Void Thrashers are tearing up my base, and they ain't gonna let up anytime soon. They got my men pinned down, so it's up to you to stop them. Nix those Thrashers fast, before they blast my fortress apart.
Yeah, your useless fortress. Yeah, right, we're gonna protect that. So, the Thrashers
Got more overlords.
here will spawn in groups.
Well, speak of the devil. Looks like one of those Thrashers is about to come around.
So the first one is right there, just outside our base, so I'm scouting. So it looks like the enemy is Protoss.
Need more minerals for that.
So after this one, there will spawn 2 Thrashers at the north base. And then after that, there will spawn 3 Thrashers at the east base. And then finally, there will spawn 4 Thrashers at the northeast base. So there will be a total of 4 groups of Thrashers, with 10 in total. So Void Thrashing is one of those relatively short maps. We can finish them in around 18 to 22, 23 minutes. So that's not actually very long to gather enough gas to build Abathur's strongest units, the Devourers and the Guardians. So what I will go for here instead will be ground units.
Need more minerals.
So even then, we still need to get our gas relatively early. So let's use our spine crawlers to break down the rocks. I use 2 since I can use them anyway to defend later. So let's saturate our extractors. Get our overlord. So we're just watching drones mine basically. Our supply is at 26 over 30. That means we need another one soon. Alright, let's make an evolution chamber. Alright,
Enemy attack imminent. Prepare defenses.
so I don't have any unit out right now, but Vorazun will soon have the Shadow Guard, and he will probably use it to break down his rocks, but he can still use to defend just as well. Alright, so let's put down some toxic nests. Alright, let's bring out our roach, and let's build our hatchery there. Alright,
Opposition Protoss. Good.
well,
Biomass for experimentation.
that somehow survived. Yeah, there's the Shadow Guard. So let's use that roach to walk around and gather the biomass, since we want our Brutalisk out nice and early, so we will have a very strong unit to help push for the rest of our units. Alright, let's draw some of these guys in. And my...
Look alive, people. That thing is spitting white-hot fire at the fortress. Taking it out is your main objective.
My roach will lure them into the toxic nests,
Targeting objective will destroy.
and as they blow up, they give biomass for that roach to pick up and grow stronger. Like so. Alright. So let's keep gathering biomass. So we're at 72, we need a few more to get our first Brutalisk. Alright,
Nests ready. Deployment advised.
let's lure these guys in. Oh, just missed him. Oh well. Alright, let's put down some more toxic nests and help our ally push. Looks like he's going with some stalkers, which...
Disrupting time now. Be ready to attack.
Oh, that's great. You can use this. We can use that time stop to do other things and not worry about our units that get attacked by the Void Thrasher. So let's walk around some more, gather those biomass, and still no Void or still no Brutalisk, and we are just 4 biomass short, which is sad, but that's fine. And it looks like we are supply blocked here, which is not good, obviously. But good thing, the Overlord is just spawning right now, which will free up some more supply.
Prepare yourselves. The enemy is inbound on our base.
Right, here comes another enemy wave, even though that Thrasher is still at large. And Looks like he has a bit of good micro. He's able to get his stalkers out of the way.
Hive clusters birthed another queen.
Alright. That thing takes a while to bring down if we don't have any powerful top bar abilities. Oh, we're facing Sky Toss. They have Phoenixes right now, but they will have Tempests in the later game. Alright. So, I will actually go for a lot of Queens here, since they're good anti-air. Not so much Ravagers.
Void Thrasher defeated.
Alright. Yeah, we would go for so much Ravagers here, because, yeah, Ravagers are good.
How many of these thrashers are they gonna send? Better get ready to handle them.
But we want to try a sort of alternative strategy, and Queens are healers too, so can't really go wrong with that. Alright, so let's make let's make our Infestation Pit and another Evolution Chamber, so we can keep our upgrades going. Alright, and that Queen isn't gonna stick around there. It doesn't have Inject like
Oh great, your Zerg
Uh,
have mutated.
the multiplayer or Kerrigan or Zagara's versions of the Queen. Alright, looks like we finally have a Brutalisk. Let's get some more Queens. Let's get that upgrade for the Viper, since we will still find a lot of value for the Viper later on, regardless of what army composition we decide to use. It looks like I'm just a bit supply blocked again. Yeah, I need to get better at this. But
Hive clusters birthed
the only way to do that is to keep practicing. Alright. So I used the Mend to keep my army alive, basically. And it looks like that Queen's gonna...
Cluster targeted for attack. Eliminate incoming enemies.
Alright, that Queen's a bit safe, or the Queen's safe for now.
Hive clusters birthed another queen.
Here come the thrashers, commanders. Let's light them up.
Alright, let's go fight those Phoenixes. And that Brutalisk looks like it's gonna tank all those Adepts.
Temporal anomaly established. Strike now, warrior.
Great time stop that allow us to rush in and take out a lot of the enemy's defenses to clear the way to attack the Thrashers. Alright, so let's get a Hive. As you can see, my Queens are actually doing a lot of work. I'm not sure how much damage they deal, but since they attack faster,
Void Thrasher slaughtered.
it's basically like Sten Marines. Individually, they don't do much, but when you put them in groups, they're gonna be a bit more effective than otherwise they would be. Alright, so that Queen's gonna be a
We have
Brutalisk,
slain a Void Thrasher.
which is great news. So the next one will spawn, as I said, to the east. And before that, we're just gonna clean up.
I hear some void thrashers knocking on our door. Let's get ready to end.
We just go clean up the north base. So there goes the last enemy gateway, even though they're not using it. But you know, we just like killing stuff because we're Zerg, and that's what Zergs do: kill stuff. It looks like our Brutalisk is just chilling here,
Oh great,
uh,
your Zerg have mutated.
taking out a robotics facility.
We need more men. Our
And
forces have engaged the enemy.
looks like my ally is gathering his army outside my expansion for some reason. Alright, so let's go back and start working on the enemy camp. It looks like my ally is actually already there. Oh, great job. Alright. So let's keep working on, let's keep working on our biomass. So I have two Vipers out. Those will be incredibly useful later on for disabling clouds,
Not enough
which will allow my army.
Enemy inbound. Must defend. Hive cluster.
Yeah, the disabling clouds will allow my army to walk in
enemies taking out a
with relatively low risk of getting killed, because the disabling cloud prevents the enemy from attacking them. Alright. Ooh, nice vortex by my ally, which trapped the enemy just to the mid-north of the map. Alright, let's put down some creep tumors at the center of the map so I can move about more quickly. Since creeps still has a buff to the movement speed.
Mutation complete.
Alright, so let's keep gathering the biomass.
Nests must
Alright, so I'm sinking my minerals into these roaches just because I'm floating a lot and I need to macro better. Alright, so I have 5 vipers so far, which is great. Oh, it looks like those orange dots.
Lock and load. It's time to clear out some thrashers.
These orange dots for bases, not actual units. And his actual army is actually right here. I'm taking out all the defenses. So his DTs use Shadow Fury and my ally just A moves basically. And that seems to be enough for now.
Void Thrasher has been annihilated.
That's the first Thrasher down. There are 2 more for this set. So I use the parasitic bombs on those 2 carriers. And my queens should take care of the rest of them. Alright. So those
Would you look at that? An archangel. Probably a good idea to destroy it before they can use it.
Void Thrashers are down.
Won't be long before we gotta light up some thrashers.
Alright, let's use Disabling Cloud on these enemies.
Our forces have opened fire.
Heads
And
up, commanders. That
try
archangel
to-
is on the move.
Nope.
Probably gonna start repairing itself till it's under fire.
Looks like we weren't able to get it, but that's fine. We can go back for it.
Hive clusters birthed another queen.
Alright. Let's use the get the other upgrade for my Vipers.
Been born.
Even though I probably won't use it.
Forces approaching. Defense required.
Alright, let's form a concave here. Try to meet the enemy, and I'm not sure if my ally has any anti-air or he's relying on me. Alright, so he used Vortex on those Void Rays, and I used a bunch of parasitic bombs to finish them off. It's great teamwork. So it looks like he is relying on me for anti-air, and he's just going pure Dark Templar. Ah, I remember using this strategy myself. Worked out pretty nicely, and it looks like it's working out for him as well, since I have just enough anti-air to clean out any airwaves. Alright, so flies in, or yeah, he blinks in, kills everything, and then just walks back. And if there's anything left, well, that's for me to kill. Alright, so my army's looking pretty healthy right now at 190 supply. And even though they're not glowing yellow yet, they're still pretty safe, since the roaches are the vile strain that slows down enemy movement speed and attack speed as well. And the queens heal everything with mass transfuse. So theoretically, my army should never die. Alright, let's go march in. Use Disabling Clouds and those things. Alright, so fly our Vipers back to protect them, while everything else marches in. Alright. Got my 3rd Brutalisk, which is a bit weird that I just got it now. Alright. So I use some more Parasitic Bombs on that Colossus and that Carrier, and some more Disabling Clouds. Vipers are very useful here. Alright, time stop, and looks like my ally is going to snipe the last Thrashers.
Be ready to defend.
And that should be GG
Just 2 to go. Dust 'em, commander.
at 19 minutes and 20 seconds. Yep. As I said, Void Thrashing.
Hell yeah, we made it. Tell you what, next time y'all are in town, I'm buying the first round.
Short map.
And that's a promise. Haha.
Alright, thank you for watching. If you have a suggestion on what else I can do as Abathur, please leave that in a comment. And I know my macro can be better. Yeah, I'm working on it. And my voice, yeah, I could talk a bit more, and I'm also working on that. So let's look at the stats. And not bad. See you.